Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Fatal Invitation Part 12. Today we're going to be talking about the tragic life of Shonda Shar. When we last left off, we had talked about how Jacqueline Voigt and her surviving daughter Paige would go on the Dr. Phil show one day and talk about the events of Shonda Shar and just everything that they went through the entire ordeal. Jacqueline would discuss about how her husband, or ex-husband I should say, Stephen, would pass away from alcoholism. But more specifically, they would give out a revelation more so surrounding about Shonda Shar and Amanda Harvin's relationship. In this revelation, Paige would say that after Shonda Shar had been murdered, that she would be going into her sister's room and she would find this shoebox underneath her bed and would open it, and it would be multiple letters between Shonda Shar and her friend and ex-girlfriend Amanda Harvin. And during these letters correspondence, it is said from Paige and Jacqueline that a lot of times Amanda would be pressuring Shonda Shar to become more intimate with her and other women. And when Shonda Shar had felt uncomfortable, Amanda would just press the issue even more. Jacqueline Voigt would say this is probably in part why Shonda had actually failed PE class when she was attending Hazelwood, as she was doing things she was uncomfortable with other women, specifically Amanda Harvin, and did not feel comfortable getting undressed. And in Jacqueline Voigt's opinion, she believes that Amanda Harvin had molested her daughter, and she plays a very large role in the fact of her daughter dying or being killed. Dr. Phil would give Amanda Harvin an opportunity to talk about the situation, and Amanda Harvin would say that she never forced Shonda Shar to do anything, and that Shonda Shar had actually approached her on multiple occasions, to which Jacqueline Voigt and Paige would actually deny this outright, as they would say they had the letters to prove otherwise. And speaking of letters, Amanda Harvin would also tell Dr. Phil on the show that she had gotten multiple letters from Melinda Loveless that if she didn't quit talking to Shonda Shar, that she would kill her. And Amanda Harvin would tell Dr. Phil that on multiple occasions she had brought this to the authorities. But even though she had brought it to authorities on these multiple occasions, when Melinda Loveless would actually act out and actually kill Shonda Shar, she would not go to the authorities, even though they had showed her the dried blood, and even though she had received multiple letters leading up to this event. And when Dr. Phil would ask Amanda why you didn't go to the authorities, Amanda would just simply say, "I didn't believe her," which is kind of hard to believe considering when you have this information. Dr. Phil would also ask Amanda Harvin to not be so cruel with Jacqueline Voigt and Paige, as they had lost a lot. And Amanda Harvin would just retort and say, "I lost a lot with this whole situation, and because of everything that happened with Shonda Shar, I was kicked off the basketball team." The fact that she would even consider getting kicked off the basketball team as even remotely close to losing a child is mind-blowing. Dr. Phil would even bring in Hope Rippey, the girl that had helped torture and kill Shonda Shar, as a way to give Jacqueline Voigt and Paige some closure and to have some questions answered. But Hope Rippey would not even answer any questions that the two women had. And when they would constantly ask her, "Why would you do such a thing?" she would just kind of shut down and say, "I don't know," and more or less just give vague answers. They would even ask her if she thought that she deserved the freedom after only serving 14 years. And Hope Rippey would very, very arrogantly say yes, which is kind of just as disappointing. Dr. Phil would also show an interview they had with Lori Tackett that was also in prison at the time, as she still refused to have parole or be released until she had served her time. And ironically enough, when they would ask her why she would do such a thing, keep in mind, when she originally had planned to do this with Melinda Loveless, it was because she had a fantasy of killing someone and was really into the occult dark arts, and it was just her desire to what it felt like to kill someone. But by this time she was already telling reporters that it was just peer pressure. She was literally blaming killing a 12-year-old girl on peer pressure. While Melinda Loveless was still in prison, she would be contacted by the ICANN program, or the Indiana Canine Assistance Network program, which is a program that is designed to give people with disabilities service pets. And they would actually give Melinda Loveless the responsibility of training these dogs. When she started training these service animals for people with disabilities, it would catch a lot of people's eyes. And this would actually be on a news interview showing Melinda Loveless training a dog for a child with disability. And not only would it catch the world's eye, but it would actually catch the eye of Jacqueline Voigt. This would actually catch the eye of Jacqueline Voigt, and she would quickly say that the woman that was training these service pets was not the woman that had killed her daughter back in 1992. So in 2012, Jacqueline Voigt would actually donate a service dog to be trained and send it directly to Melinda Loveless, and she would donate a dog in her daughter's honor, naming the dog Angel. Melinda Loveless would tell reporters that it felt like a dream come true, as it was always her dream and desire for Shonda's mother to see that she was trying to be a better person and take responsibility for her actions. And for Jacqueline Voigt to do this, it was as if a huge weight had been lifted off her shoulders. Unfortunately, when Jacqueline would do this, she would receive a lot of criticism for donating a dog in her daughter's honor every year to the woman that had actually killed her daughter. And Jacqueline Voigt would make the statement, "Shonda is my child, and if you do not let good things come from bad situations, nothing good would ever happen. I know my daughter, and I know what she would want, and Shonda would want this." I know when we talk about these stories, we talk about just these horrible atrocities, and we discuss where surviving family members would just carry this hatred and bitterness of the person that would take their loved ones away. And very, very rarely do we get an opportunity to see a situation where you see someone doing something so unheard of and so powerful and so compelling, as far as forgiving the person that had murdered your child. And I think it is this powerful movement that honestly changed Melinda Loveless for the better. Or at least, in my opinion, I hope this has changed Melinda Loveless for the better. As last time I checked, she still continues to train dogs for disabled kids. And so even after being released, she's trying to take responsibility and accountability for her actions on 1992, which is more than I can say for the rest of the women that were involved in this tragedy. Every single other woman that was involved either do not take accountability for their actions or responsibility, and sadly enough, they only care about themselves. Melinda Loveless, even though she was the ringleader, was the only one willing to take a step forward and try to make small steps in making things right. This has probably been one of the most disturbing cases I've ever read, but if there was anything good that could become out of this entire story, the ending of Jacqueline Voigt forgiving her daughter's murderer for killing her daughter, you can't put a price on that.